So we're going to go ahead and hit the books at this point. So core value today is we are enthusiastic about old school ethics and new school aesthetics. We believe in hard work, integrity, honesty, and traditional ethics. At the same time, we also love design, aesthetics, and embrace fun marketing and out-of-the-box branding. While we embrace the past ethics of the generation before us, we want our team to be on the forefront. And I want to. What brought this to mind for me was watching you guys and the videos that you've been doing and the little things. I've seen everything that everybody's kind of putting out there on the socials, and it's just really cool to see the new aesthetics that you're putting on what we traditionally do. And to that end, I'm going to go through some stuff here in a few minutes about things that we're going to continue to do and some things that all of us have to go do before September 1st, because some rules have changed on us, and we're not a big deal, but it's like, I'll show you in a couple of minutes. But what brought that to mind for me was the hard work that you girls are putting in, you ladies are putting in on the videos and being fun. And even though I know you and Taja both are, Taja, I'm putting you on this. You both have traditional ethics and the work hard ethic that you have. But when I see, I love the one that you're dancing in the back in at the back office, and Tasha coming in and doing her things. That's just, and I showed it to my wife, and she's like, "That is fun." And I said, "That's exactly right." And the bathtub picture with Tasha in the bathtub, brilliant. So, wanted to congratulate you on that. Number one, encourage you to keep doing more and to get creative that way. But at the same time, I want to appreciate the fact that you want to work by the books when it comes to the work that we actually do and how we represent our clients. That's the time.
Yep.
So let me jump over here real quick out of this scene. Pardon me while I sit down and do something different and present, because this is something that we all have to be aware of. And this is from MetroTex, but it's the same for everybody in the state. So let me get this presenting. So here's the important updates to consumer protection notices that you need to know. There is a revision to the consumer protection notice that goes into effect September the 1st. And if you just read through this, I'm going to share this in Slack later so that you have a copy to go get this. But you have to link to the forms on Trek's website, or you have to have, if you host a PDF version on your website, like on your personal page, this new version has to be on there. The new fuel gas piping disclosure. The seller's disclosure now has a question about if you have gas supply lines, black iron pipe, copper, or corrugated stainless steel tubing. Let me tell you a quick story about corrugated stainless steel tubing. A lot of people refer to that as CSST. A lot of people, most of the houses that were built in the 90s and 2000s have corrugated stainless steel tubing. You've seen it. It's usually yellow, and it goes from the gas line to the water heater or to the heater in the attic. What you don't know is it has to be grounded. If you don't have a main ground on the CSST, you are apt for a lightning strike. Case in point, Brian St. Clair. 2 years ago, lightning struck outside my house, jumped to the gas meter, ran up the gas line to the CSST at my fireplace, and caught my house on fire, and I had to move out for 6 months. Yeah. $130,000 of remodel later, I got to move back in 6 months. But the reason the firemen came, and as soon as they saw the CSST, they said that lightning loves that stuff. Most houses have to have what's called a manifold, and they put it in the attic, and it has a number 8 or number 6 copper line that goes all the way to a grounding rod or to your breaker box. Most houses don't have that. And to have it put in, it's about $500 to $750. So when you see that on an inspection report and it says CSST, think Brian. Brian, and you can call me and I can tell you what you need to do because I went through it. So that's what that's for. New disclosure requirements for wholesaling. A license is not necessary as long as the wholesaler discloses the nature of the interest to potential buyers and do not engage in real estate brokerage activity without a license. but that's going to be a big thing. A lot of the wholesalers have gone and had somebody in their crew get a license so they can get around this rule.
I was gonna say,
They don't abide by it anyway. It's just like if you know all the wholesalers, they'll stick it somewhere in an amendment or something like that. There's a bunch of ways around it. But yeah, that's the way they're getting around it.
That's the way, one of the ways they're getting around it. But it's new disclosure. So if somebody's wholesaling, it has to be disclosed. That's if more experienced agents, you may have seen that as a double close, a dual close, where they slide the paper. So I'm selling to Jimmy, Jimmy's selling to Gracie. He's keeping $5,000 of her money. And so we close, and then he slides the papers in the next office to Gracie. Gracie pays $5,000 or $10,000 more for the house that she's buying from me, but Jimmy's getting $5,000. You have to disclose that. Okay.
And they always disclose it, but it's at closing, and so they just wrap it up with a sheet of paper that they put in a closing document. So if you have any questions on it, you feel like it's a wholesaler, just call me. Just call me. I know all the tricks. So,
Okay. The last update is the MUD and buyer special notices. We've been talking about this for about 6 months, the PIDs, the MUDs. Good information here, but it went into effect June 18th. And also I have, if you go to this page, when I send this to you in Slack, it doesn't look like a link, but check this out right here. There's a link down here at the bottom, and I'm gonna have to share this tab. It did it. But you can search the water district databases and you can see all the MUDs and the PIDs right here on this page. You go down for this code. For instance, I know there's 76244. I don't know if this is going to share. It did. Yay. But this is TCEQ. And then it gives you a map of where everything is and shows you the MUDs and the PIDs.
lots in Denton. There's lots in Denton.
There you go. There they are.
Here in August, so pretty much.
And if you guys ever run into, I think I said this a couple of weeks ago, hi, Kristen. If you guys run into a pipeline thing with a buyer and you need the pipeline map, I have a link to that map as well. So you can see all of the dead holes and where the pipes run and all the natural gas, all the oil and gas that goes through the area. There's a map of that. So that's all I have this morning. Let me stop sharing this tab. And I'm going to just go back over here. Okay, we're back on. Hi, Ashley. Thank you for joining us. And today we have asked Holly and Taja to bring us our mastermind topic. And so I'm going to let them have the floor.
Okay.
Taja, you can unmute now if you need to.
Okay. I'm not making any headway. I'm stuck on the bridge in front of Temptations. So I probably won't be there before 11. But I'll let Holly start out.
Okay. So we were just talking about kind of what Ryan was saying with our core value and just about your visibility to your client. And just, you have to paint a picture of what you do every day. And it could be anything from informal to formal. It's silly.
Tasha, mute yourself.
Yes.
It could be anything from our silly videos that we've been doing, or doing an educational video. So just painting a picture and telling your story so you can draw people in. And then also just, we've had so many people like Brian's wife or like whatever saying, oh my gosh, that was so cute. And it really had nothing to do, like the video had nothing to do with like real estate, really. Our verbiage did in our caption, but just caught people's attention. And it was an opportunity for us to have those conversations and just staying top of mind, being like, oh, they did that series or whatever in their video. Oh yeah, they're the realtor, even though they may know 4 realtors, they're going to think of us because we've stayed, top of mind. We've stayed consistent. And so just painting that picture for your clients and telling them your story of being a realtor, genuinely and organically drawing them in. So, Josh, do you want to add to that?
Taja, you can unmute now.
Okay. Is it super annoying for me to be unmuted?
Well, Yeah, there's a lot of background, like a blurb, like electronic blurb or something going on.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of
It's,
surrounded by a bunch of trucks, and so I don't think my reception is good. So I'll just kind of read the notes that I made for myself, and I'm really telling myself this, but and Holly and sharing with this, but I know that, around the industry, we're kind of in a tight spot. Interest rates being high, consumer confidence down. We're trying to make a difference, and so the plan is like for the next 4 or 5 months till 2024 is just to really make yourself visible. So some of my notes were, your visibility is your responsibility. If you provide a service or a product, it's your responsibility to be visible every day. Otherwise, they're just going to go use someone else who's a better marketer. I know sometimes that can be a self-confidence issue. I sometimes struggle with that, like, I don't want to be out there today, or I don't want to join that new group, or I don't want to send that note card, and I don't know what to say, and things like that. But I think the next 4 months, if, like Brian, we've talked about economists, saying that there'll be a big shift back towards the seller's market. I think being visible right now, it, whether it's showing up to a car club, joining your kids' PTA, whatever your hobbies are, I think it's very easy, and you can do a lot of cost-effective ways to market. I mean, if you can allocate $100 to $150 a month, I can tell you how to utilize it pretty well. I mean, just, notes in the mail, social media, very, very effective way, happy hour, church, whatever your thing is, get into those groups. And kind of a rule of thumb that I've had a lot of great mentors down the line. And I think just, things that I live by is activity breeds activity. And if you want to double your business, double your network. So get out there, if you've been wanting to join something or go back to church, or, have people over to your house for morning coffee or whatever, it's a great way just to reconnect with people, because this is a people business, and it's really not more complicated than that. And those are kind of things that we are focusing on, because our productivity is not where we'd like it to be this year. Even though we're putting a lot of effort out, the return on your investment, your overhead, you're definitely spending more time and money than we have in a very long time to earn that business. So those were just some thoughts that we put together last night just to share with you guys.
okay. Jimmy had some input he would like to put in.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I always draw on this board, but it's like very small writing. So, and really, it's not really even readable. So for those of you guys up here, I'm just going to explain. But typically, like in marketing and whenever you're doing sales, and this is true for just any business. It's true for the construction side, design side. Honestly, I do some consulting stuff with other CEOs, and it's true for all different types of businesses. And so what ends up happening is, this is like, I do this pyramid, you can do a funnel, whatever. This down here at the bottom this is the most effort. You have social media visibility, which provides authority and top of mind. It's exactly what you guys are thinking about. You have to have this in order for the other things to build off of, right? If you you don't have to, but it's really, really helpful if you just have some sort of visibility. At least have a website or a social media page that has something that you are an agent, you are a licensed something, right? So you have to have something here in order to do the rest of these things. You don't have to. If you just did the bikini thing, you're still gonna just crush it. But it does take a lot of effort, but you kind of have to have it. Then you have events, social hour, that cocktail, those types of things, and that requires more, same effort, not as much, but you do have that. Still provides authority, top of mind. Then you have Zillow, paid ads. These are the things that you actually paid for. Again, if you're going to use this, you have paid ads. You gotta have some sort of content down here to pay for it, actually promote. And then up here this is just working your network. This is the 100 Days of Greatness. This is exactly everything that Bukini has and put out. And this is just working your network, working your CRM system. And every business, this is the same thing with like everybody has to have all of these things, right? In order to have a successful marketing campaign. This right here is the single best way to grow your business. It's like the easiest and the most simple way to grow your business. So if you have, 24 hours in a day, this is where it takes the least amount of effort and the most success that you'll have, which is why we harp on 100 Days of Greatness. Like, get started there, push there. But if you've already done that and you're wanting to try to elevate it, what Posh and Holiday is saying is right now, this is your bread and butter. This should be your bread and butter. Least amount of effort, most impact, right? You got to have this. But when interest rates are high and if everybody else is doing this, it's like your network starts to dry up and everybody's like slow playing it. I don't know if I want to do this. And so now is the time to work on the other parts of the pyramid. Like, now is the time to, you can double down on this. That's great, but it's still going to be slow. This goes as the market goes, right? And so during slow times, this is like opportunistic time. This is like, okay, I have a market. My network my sphere of influence is here, right? The only way I'm going to grow that sphere of influence is by doing this bottom pyramid piece. And that's kind of what Tasha and Holly are saying. And honestly, that's like, whenever we're at slow time during construction and design, we're pushing it. We're doing paid ads. We are making a bunch more posts. We're actually like making all of our content for our network and our paid ads to do in the spring and fall, spring going up 2024. So right now we're spending a lot of time and money in this bottom section right here. And so kind of what Tasha and Holly is saying is, if this starts to dry up, hey, go ahead and take that opportunity as a way to kind of expand your sphere, expand your, circle of influence, grow that network just a tad bit more. And you can stay at top of mind and authority, because everybody else in the industry, they're like, and they just are like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And the last thing they'll spend money on is this. And especially this paid ads, like boosting the social media posts, boosting the, Facebook ad or whatever. Like, make a really good video, spend some time making a really good video that gets some response, and then pay $20.
Well, yeah, I was like, you can
$20.
pay 10, even 10.
Yeah,
get
pay
you,
$20.
I think I don't know what the algorithm is, but I don't even get you double like you would have.
Like, literally make 3 or 4 videos, and if you like I don't know how to do that, I have no clue how to do that. You come talk to me. You come talk to Brian, Tasha, Holly. Like, honestly, any one of us, I'll set you up with the right people. We can do it cheaply. Like, I'll help you out. Get started on that. So do it, pay an ad, gain that exposure. That is kind of what you guys are saying, but kind of fleshing it out a little bit for you guys.
And one of the things that Tasha and I always talk about is, what you're doing now, you'll see the fruits of in 90 days.
Yeah.
You really have to continually do that, so you continually see that growth and that fruit. So we haven't always been great at social media. Actually, since we posted that, we've been way better because of somebody we know. And we have seen a tremendous growth in our engagement.
Yeah.
So.
And that's growing that sphere, and then eventually you'll make new connections, maybe get a lead, and then bam, now you're working it. And we all know how that works. So again, least amount of effort, most impact is network. I mean, network. Like, if anything has been around for how many decades, it works. It's just period. In every business, like, it's the same exact thing.
In your network, I mean, it doesn't even have to be like going to coffee cocktails or whatever. I mean, I know that kind of plays in events, but it's like liking things on Facebook or commenting on somebody's on Facebook. I know Tasha talks all about the time. If somebody has a baby, send them a note card. That's literally less than $1. You get at the dollar store. So it's just doing those little things. It doesn't have to be expensive. It could be something very, very cheap.
And just for note cards, I brought another 300 or 400 that are in that bag right there. And there's a green bag over there. So if you're out of note cards or don't have some, please look through there. Take some home with you. I literally have 4,000 of them in my house right now that I need to distribute. So y'all can have as many as you need. One thing Tasha said that I have said for many, many years, and I never heard anybody say it, but it came to me that year that I did 77 transactions, because the busier I got, the busier I got. And so I started saying and teaching to the agents at the RE/MAX office was business begats business. When you're doing business, you're out there in the world, you're transacting. You may be on socials more now than what we were, in 2012 when I was doing that. But when you are out there in it, you're going to run into people, and plus you're going to be, like we teach in Buffini, you being in somebody's mind, you activate their reticular activator in their brain. And if you don't know what that is, it's the part where if you go buy a white Toyota Prius, when you drive out of the dealership on your way home, you will see 12 white Toyota Priuses. That's the way your brain works, because you notice those. You didn't notice them going, but you're going to notice them when you leave, because that's what you're thinking about. So your clients, when they're in a transaction with you or family of your client, they're thinking about real estate, and they're going to hear somebody say, yeah, we've been thinking about selling our house. You have to be top of mind. You have to be that person. So interacting with those people on social media, like your clients, and saying, hey, congratulations on your baby, blah, 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 blah. Well, you're not just hitting them, you're hitting them, their friends, and their friends. That's the way the algorithm works.
And I was going to add too, just even on socials, Tasha and I talk about this all the time, and we've talked to, Brian, and I think we've put it in Slack a couple of times. If, as a brokerage, if we have a listing, just know that both Tasha and I's listings are free game. If y'all want to market them, please market them. I mean, don't, just make it your own or whatever, but same thing. I mean, there's so many times that we share each other's listings and people are like, oh my gosh, y'all are so busy. And we're like, oh no, really? People see it and they're like, oh my gosh, he's doing a lot of business. So for us, especially, just know that ours, I mean, if you see it and you want to share it, share it. I mean, seriously, because that's only going to help you, and it may bring a buyer for you. It's just going to help everybody. So that's an easy one to do too, just to share everybody's listings. Do what?
I think that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I pretend I have 50 listings.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not kidding. People are like, oh my gosh, y'all sell a house every day. And we're like,
Yep,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So that's another easy one.
Jen, I'd love to have some of your input on this.
On networking and
Just-
social media, and are we
Maybe
talking?
the social media. Yeah, because we more so social media. I was just trying to give a framework for everybody to kind of think through.
I agree 100% with what you said about network being the place where, I've
Yeah,
been using Ninja, but I love Buffini too. I think they're very similar.
yeah.
They are definitely rooted in all the same principles. I have worked on a website that is kind of my foundation from where I want to send people, and it
Yeah.
creates a Google footprint so that I can be found easily online. And that's been a great resource for a client here and a client there. You want a presence on the internet that says she knows what she's doing. She looks professional. She looks polished. It's just image related at that point. And then when you can talk to them, you can verify all of that, but getting them to call you first. And case in point, I'm working with Cornigays right now who loved 6th Avenue and found me in 6th Avenue. And I'm sure it's because I've got a pretty good footprint out there. If you Google Jana Seal, you're going to see my website, my photos, my listings, just all kinds of stuff start popping up from everything that I've posted on social media. So yes, post. That's all going to make you visible. A website that's engaging. I've got tools in my website that I send my clients to. Like, they apply for their mortgages through my website. So I've got links in there for my lenders, and say, oh, just go to my website, janaseal.com, get approved. You'll find it. You can check with Hannah and check with Dave, Darren Davey, and any of them, compare them, whatever. And so that drives traffic into my website too. I also have my buyer's guide and my seller's guide in there. Just some things that are, valuable to them that will drive them there. So that traffic, I think, is important. I think that creates visibility and authority. It plays off of social media as well, janaseal.com, whatever I can, do to promote that. I do very few events. I loved it when my broker in the previous life did a bunch of that stuff, so I could just jump on board with it, but I'm not the type of person that plans well. I'm way more impulsive than that. I don't know if you figured that out. But yeah, planning things is not my strength, and so that's not where I fall. Actually, the Buffini and the Ninja thing is a real struggle for me because there's a lot of planning in there, but social media can be pretty impulsive. So I guess throw it out there. But working my network is definitely where I found the most strength.
Yeah.
I think paid ads are easy. So I guess I kind of just say yes, yes, yes to all of that. And I think you build your foundation and you kind of grow it from there, a step at a time, a brick at a time, a day at a time.
Yep.
And before you know it, you kind of got something in some traction and some momentum. And so
I want to key on something you just said there, because
Tell your lies.
one thing that you just, at the end there, you said is that, you know, somebody that's just starting out, I'm sorry, Gracie, I'm going to use you as an example because you're less than a year. Gracie doesn't have this platform built where it's wide. Hers is much more, is a smaller platform, a smaller pyramid. But adding to that platform every time that you have the opportunity, especially when you know, if you're at school for you and you've got, you know, a couple hours, well, go and find a new brick to put in your platform and keep working on this one thing at a time. The people like Maria, me, Holly, Jana, that have been doing it for a very long time. Sorry. Didn't mean it that way, but we've been doing it for a while, but we didn't build what we have in a week or a month or a year. This takes a very, very long time to get all of this information put in there. And then you see somebody else is doing, you go look at Jana's website, you go, ooh, that's a cool idea. I'm stealing that. She doesn't care.
that's all I did. There's not an original idea.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we do the same thing in business.
Yeah, but you know, I
Still
think
good
the most
ideas.
important thing to realize, I'm kind of like scrolling back into where I was in your shoes. And my brokerage is what I leaned on. I leaned on their results, their track record, their successes. And it was mine because I'm part of that team. And so you just blow the 6th Avenue horn all over the place and it is yours and you own it because you're part of this and you'll build your story while leaning on their successes. And then before you know it, you're tooting your own horn and able to tell your own story in there along the way. So that's why we're a team, you know. So,
And I will say too, I mean, not even just in business, like Tasha probably knows the statistic now, but like it used to be like 80% personal, 20% business. So that people still want to see that you're an interesting person outside of your business. Like, so still post regularly and consistently in your personal too, because they want to be like, oh, what is she up to? That's one thing that's why I was looking at Tanner is he's really pushed us just to do those candid little quick, this is what I'm doing, just because people want to see that too. And again, that's still staying top of mind. Not just because you're a real estate agent, because you're an interesting person, you're doing something fun or new or whatever, showing your kids or, you know, whatever it is. That's another way.
it is, it's attracting.
Yeah.
It's just love traction.
Good info? Good. Kristen, do you have anything you'd like, because you're big on socials
You
too.
are, you got some good stuff going on.
Yeah, social media is my thing. Yeah, I mean, if you still look at my page and still whatever you want. I'm also like, I design my own website. Like I do all my stuff myself. My website, all my graphics, all the things. So if any of y'all need help with social media or how to edit or anything, like I am free to always help you out with that. It's get a gimbal, get a stabilizer. That's how your videos look professional without it being that way. I'll really just walk through. But I'm definitely open to helping you guys out. Like I just have an eye for it. Always have. Like even in high school, like I was a person volunteering to help with your book stuff, even though I wasn't in it. So I'm always down to help. And yeah, social media. Like I offer free resources on my website. Just put that on there. And so, like you said, that helps a lot. And just like being visible, not just with your business, but with life stuff. So I post life stuff too. Like I love cooking, so I'm always posting my cooking stuff. If I'm just out and about having a cocktail, I'll do that. If I'm on vacation, I'm posting vacation stuff and all of that. And so my focus now, since it is slower, is just making people see me. Like they have no option. They're seeing me every day. You might be sick of me, but you're gonna see me. And then when it does happen, they'll reach out. And I've had multiple people already say like, I'm so ready, like, you know, I'm gonna buy design next year, and whether that's true or not, I'm still sending them those resources. So they see when they do pull up that buyer scouting already, it's my logo on there, it's my name. Make sure to have a brand. Like everything that I post is neutral. You know, my favorite color is beige. No color whatsoever. But when you go on my social media, if they don't know that you're an agent within like 0.5 seconds, you need to change something. It needs to flow well. You need to have highlights on there. It needs to be aesthetically pleasing so they know that it's on quality. Like it has to look good. It can't look janky. And so just focus on creating a brand, create a font, like kind of like how SitsApp has all of their stuff on there. Like I have my own font, I have my own color palette. It's all uploaded on the Canva. So when I make my graphics, I just click it and it brands it for me. I don't even have to think twice about it. So have a brand, have a presence, stay consistent, be annoying, and it'll work out.
Where do you host your website?
HubSpot. And that's why I have HubSpot CRM too. So that's, and not a lot of people use it for that, but it hosts my landing pages, it hosts my website. And then anytime someone inputs their information through my landing pages, which is what offers the free resources, it automatically puts them into my CRM. And then I can create all of my newsletters through there, all my emails. It connects to my Gmail. So it's all integrated into this beautiful thing. So it's a lot. So when you log in, I'm still kind of like, whoa. But it's $50 a month.
That's cheap.
For all of that. I'm like,
How much a month
50.
for hosting and all the other stuff? Okay, I'm gonna put the I'm gonna put that.
You need a little tutorial on that, so get yourself on the calendar. Because I'm spending 120 bucks.
Oh, and I was hoping like the design part of it is a pain in the ass. So I don't want to lie to you.
You're saying it. You
So,
better be ready, girl.
I like literally when I created all my landing pages for all my free resources, that took me like 6 hours. That's the only thing I did on Monday was that. And so I just logged in and did all the resources, edited them, and did the whole thing and put them on up, and it took me forever, and I cussed a lot.
Kristen, what's your website? I'll put it in the chat. KRYSTEN.com. And then Jana, I'm gonna put yours in here too. I should have put, hang on. I didn't do the right thing. www.krystendfw.
It doesn't even have the www in front of it.
Well, it didn't give me a link to it.
Okay. It might.
There it goes. I got it that time. Jana, what's yours?
JANNASEAL.com.
All right, I'm just putting those in the chat so that anybody that comes back and watches these.
Just over and over throughout the day.
Yeah.
SEO, incorporating those things into is like super important. So like SEO is very complex and I don't even think people can say that they're pros on it. There's no way it doesn't. It's just luck. It's like fantasy football kind of 90% loves and but make sure you're integrating that and also including meta descriptions.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that is.
there's a whole, we do a whole class on
Yeah.
SEO.
Could we do like a website building workshop?
The whole day.
Well, yeah,
We need to
maybe like a
for
series
that.
or I wouldn't even know where to begin, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
We have,
Yeah.
we have the ability, we built a template, 6-hour template, like a website for you, like to like where, I don't know the whole cost on it and stuff like that, but it's like basically a Squarespace. So how much is Squarespace?
So hosting and the domain and stuff,
Yeah.
it's like about $250
A month? Oh, a year.
a year.
month.
There's some really cool like high level stuff you can do with it, but we got a great template, and they like frankly like test it around, knock the template out, everybody make their tweaks and say they're gonna do it together, and end up with a really nice website. They're gonna be similar, but I guarantee that nobody's gonna be in your network looking at your website, and then one of the other agents is judging you because of it.
Yeah.
It's a
There's
good
very
way.
little overlap.
Have y'all ever thought about like, you might need to say this, but on each, so you know how it has a team on the website, if you had a lead, like each agent had a landing page where they could input the information, it goes straight to that person.
I love that. Yeah, I love that idea. Like
It's-
where it goes straight to your website. Yeah, from the
Or
website.
it, like, there's a submission situation, however y'all want to host it.
Contact this agent or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's an easy, I think we could easily integrate that.
And then that way the agent, if they didn't want to do all the things, like all the crap that I'm doing, which, but they could at least have that landing page to put in their bio.
Yeah.
To direct people to
Yeah.
their resources, their.
Yeah,
If I'm you guys, just think about like from the big Girl Scout reach out to those landing pages.
Sending you an email, Jimmy.
You can take a Girl
I'll send you
Scout
an email with that.
And use that. And if you're like, I don't want to touch that, go add your photo, change a couple pictures to the Girl Scout landing page, and it's a search portal. That's optimized for all socials, all of the plugging, wherever you want it, drive traffic there.
Yeah.
And we catch top of the activity. That's like, it's just straight to the point. It's like, they're gonna come to see your photo, they're there, but they're gonna look at the houses. And that's the thing. And you can plug it into that, to wherever you're hosting, you can plug that into your website.
I thought about looking into Linktree on Instagram and adding that because for an additional place to put items of value. Is that something that you
I
utilize
did.
or who doesn't?
I had that before I had on my website. Now I just have my, like, on my Instagram page or wherever it's at, I just have like website plus free resources. So they know that
Okay.
my website is there, but
You want to drive
also,
it to that.
I'm like, you're gonna get, like, you're not just looking at it, you can download some stuff.
Yeah.
For free.
Right.
I need
You
to,
just have that.
I need to break for a second. Taja has a comment that she would like to make. So Taja, if you'll unmute.
I'm literally 2 minutes away.
Okay. Well, then you can get here and we'll hear your comment when you get here.
Yeah, I'll be walking in the door in 2 minutes. Bye.
She said she texted her and said, I have something to add. So I was wanting to give her time before she forgot it. So it was like 7 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so a couple takeaways. I really like the idea of posting or like having y'all's personal, if you do have a website, maybe we can talk about this at a later date, but posting either your website's landing page to your like, contact, like Janet, we put that on our website. So it's just an easy link for them. And then for agents that don't have that, maybe we can look at either using the 6-app template that we kind of made this resource. If you don't have a website, it's like you need something. So we kind of make a template so you have it. Obviously you have your own, it's even 2 times better. Or doing a WeChat landing page just to have something there that can drive traffic for you. So I really like that idea. So I think that at the bare minimum, I think we need to do that. And then second thing I'm hearing is maybe we have just another mastermind built around, and maybe we just extend an hour and a half, 2 hours, built around different options for your own personal website. If you don't have one, then maybe we can look at this as kind of some options. And then if you do have one, maybe we bring in somebody from our 6-app storytelling team to kind of like just check out your website, give you some feedback, do some consultation, or have the kind of experts y'all give us the consultation. Because like all the stuff that you guys are saying is really, really exciting. So two takeaways. I think for me and Brian, I think we're going to look at what does it look like and how difficult will it be to post y'all's specific, landing pages or request forms on our website to help you out. And then 2, maybe creating a second mastermind class.
Well, I really love the idea of a replicating site that's got some continuity in it, but that is maybe enhanced in ways from all the ideas that are kind of floating around the table too.
Yeah.
Because if we can come up with something that's just, blanket statement, here you go, and you can utilize that resource straight out of the gate. I mean, I'm not married to mine. I mean, I'd want it under janiceseal.com, but I'm game to taking a look at what all we can come up with together and have it kind of speak that 6th Avenue look and feel, but my branding.
Yeah, I was kind of,
criteria.
we kind of tried to create like a basically an initial template. So for like agents that are like not just starting, but you know, kind of that next tier level.
Only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Set in front of 2 patients for an hour and a half.
Come on in.
Yeah. So we initially kind of tried to like, it's like for your first time, it's like, what is an easy way to like get into this? And obviously as you grow your brand, you're going to want to, you know, but to make a custom website, obviously, you know, it takes a lot of time, money, effort. So we couldn't like customize it too much, but it was kind of like, what can we do to just create like an initial, you know, like get this thing going for you? And then eventually as you grow, you know, you might want like, you know, 12 different pages for resources like that. As you get to that level, that's kind of like, we can do it. It's like we got to charge. So we're kind of like, but that was the idea. I think as you grow and as like, I think like y'all's website utility and like, so like that actually works better.
Got it. Well, and this is the template we
Yeah.
It's a pretty bad flag going on right now.
So this is like Cherie's website.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Marie's personal
The
website, but this is the
template
template we
for
can
6
give
hours. Okay.
to, it's lagging, so it's
Yeah,
raining.
but
Looks great
it's
though.
kind of 6th Abbey. You could come in and change the colors with structure. A lot of our stuff, but we just copied and pasted with some of our own language, her reviews, driving to all of her resources and stuff. There's a couple of things that she her about page 3.
Is she an Aggie?
Howdy.
So she was the kind of first test run. Yeah, I think you could effectively get on here and use this specified however you want, and then get links to her. It's my on data, but service.
Yeah.
And so it's you know, it's kind of one of those things where if you don't have that, it's just like, man, everybody kind of needs this, so kind of like an intro step to that. Again, it's not as customized, but it's just something. It's like you don't have anything. This is like huge. I mean, this is awesome.
Well, like you said, oh,
No,
sorry.
you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like you said, now with it being slower, I feel like now is a great time, even if it takes 6 hours, you know, like we have the time to really put in the effort now to make a good page and again, have it like work for us. So like, I'm definitely interested. I need to do this.
Does the template, does that obtain information to plug it into the CRM or no?
So there's a couple ways to do it. Like you can create a form, and the form will capture the information. You can sync it to something relations. So you can do that, or you can drive into your Real Scout page, which will you can create the varied entry that gathers information for the insert.
So not just not as easy as Kristen's, but similar. I mean, one extra step. Yeah. Yours is a little bit more seamless. Which is nice.
Oh, I also forgot an extra, the domain does cost per year, I forgot to say that.
Yeah.
So it's not just the $50. I think I got mine for GoDaddy, and it's cheap.
Yeah, it's really
It's
cheap.
like-
$5 or something.
It's something that was like, I bought it probably a year before I actually started using it.
I don't even think your domain name is that much. It's like 20 bucks.
Yeah, it's
It's
20.
something-
You usually offer
it's-
like 20.
Yeah, and I got the extra insurance and stuff that there was an extra package for like protection, so no one like hacks your stuff. And
Yeah.
so it's what I paid for.
It's good stuff, guys.
Very good stuff.